And let me refresh and see what's happening here. Is it working? Oh, it's happening. Well, we are live. We're live. I'm trying to see if it's oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. And let me make sure that the volume is off because otherwise we'll get an echo. Okay, it's working. Yay! Yay! Hey guys, I haven't seen you in so long. I know I have been missing, but here we are, and with such exciting news, we got Karen Sawyer, CBA, with us, and she is taking over as your new education master guru, everything. And I'm so excited because she's just so amazing. And you guys, I mean, so many of you already know her. And if you don't, you are in for such a treat. So today we're going to get to know her. Yay! Yay! Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Sandy. I am so excited to spend this fun Friday afternoon with you. Anxious, but yet excited.
Yeah, well, I am so glad that you agreed to take over the groups and to be the new, the new newbie. What is the word? A mentor, and usher the new balloon designers into the world, and help them learn how to do it right. So I'm so excited. We have some people that are watching us live on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can go ahead and ask questions. If you're watching us on Facebook, the questions don't show up in StreamYard, but I'll try to keep checking on Facebook to see if you're asking questions. So we'll try to answer your questions. So go ahead and, you guys can interact with us. So to start with, Karen, I'm just going to give you the floor real quick. You can just kind of give us a quick little background of yourself.
Oh, wow. So
I know that one wasn't on the sheet.
That's all right. Karen Sawyer, CBA. I'm so excited to be able to use those initials. It's been a long time coming. I have been doing balloon decor for a very long time. So it was time to go ahead and get that off of my to-do list. So I am a wife of, I don't know, how long have I been married? 26 or 27, girl, I don't even remember. A long time. I've been married for a long time. I am a mom of 5 boys. I started my business in Baltimore, Maryland, and then we relocated to York, Pennsylvania, which is just a little ways up the road. So I accommodate both the Maryland and Pennsylvania area, not with only balloon decor, but also our entertainment services. So that, and I have an expansion is that we also have a party venue in our local mall. So that's a little background about me.
Yeah, so you got your fingers in all parts of our little business here, don't you?
Yes, I have several celebration brands. Yes, because I have grown over the years.
Very cool, very cool. So how did you end up getting into balloons? What made you get started with it?
Well, I think about that because a lot of people ask me that. And I always go back to it started with me as a face painter. So I started face painting first at the numerous birthday parties I've hosted for my foster kids because I was a foster parent for 17 years.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, for 17 years, I've had fostered over 50 children. And we also have 2 children that joined our family through adoption. So it started with me being around other artists. And I remember reaching out to Lynn Donnelly, I still remember her name, with Festive Effects in Virginia because she was doing balloon decor. And she was gracious enough to invite me to her home office and helped me learn some basics with regard to balloon decor. So that's how it all started. And that was the early 2000s, believe it or not. Time is flying.
Wow. Wow. And so I know you got your CBA fairly recently, right?
Yes.
So actually, Sherry Hatcher is asking when you got hers. She got hers at Balloon Wonderland.
Who got her? Who got one?
Sherry Hatcher, one of our viewers.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
She's wondering when you got yours.
I got mine at Balloon University. When was that? August? That was just a few months ago. So I had started studying to do the CBA around 2019. And then, of course, we know what happens after that. So I didn't quite finish. But when I went to Balloon University 5 years ago, I had said to myself, you're going to come back and do your CBA here at Balloon University. And I honored my word to myself. But then I thought about, if someone is doing traveling tour and I can get my CBA somewhere like in Maryland, then I don't have to actually travel to go get it. I had considered that, but it just didn't work out. So then Balloon University, it was time again. 5 years comes around so fast. I was like, oh, there it goes. So, I was like, oh gosh, I got to do this. Well, I had to do it. I had to honor my word to myself. So yes, I did get my CBA in August at Balloon University.
Wow. Yeah. I was in the industry for probably about 12 years before I finally actually went and got the CBA.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was good because then guess what? I already had all my photos.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because you already had the experience and the real world experience. Actually, I found that taking the CBA exam, the hardest thing for me to do was to dumb down the design to match the stupid picture that they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted a 4-twist flower, and it was so hard for me to do that and not a better 6-petal one,
Yeah. Yeah. So I already had the photos, but then I had to do what? The job cost form.
Oh, yeah.
That part. I was like, but then I just send everything in. And so that part was a little bit easier because over the years I have a portfolio. So that helped out a lot.
Right. And real world experience in costing the products and not pricing it well enough and losing money. And that's definitely what influenced a lot of my prices, was when I realized, like, wait, I worked for how long and I made 6 cents?
Yes, exactly. And then doing the job cost form for me, though, was like, girl, you better start pushing more of these columns because you're making a good profit off of these columns.
Right?
So,
yes.
I'm like, I can do columns all day long. So
before I retired, it was the same for me. It was, like, I realized, like, wow, columns is where I make money. So let's sell more of these.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's kind of always the struggle is, that your inner artist that wants to do these great, fabulous things that are completely unprofitable, and the profit centers, which are the down and dirty, quick get in and get out classic decor.
Yes.
So, that kind of brings me to my next question. Tell me about your favorite job that you ever did.
My favorite job. I really don't have a favorite job, but I can tell you about my favorite situation.
Yeah.
So I was scheduled to do a style shoot with another artist. So I had this great idea and I invited her to come. I don't know. I always feel like I need someone to hold my hand. I have no idea what that's about. But she then decided she couldn't make it. She didn't decide. Something came up. She couldn't make it. So then guess what? I had to go ahead and do it solo. Not really solo because, as usual, what happens? My family gets sucked in. So my husband and my children had to be my second hands. But the reason I say that it was my favorite is because I followed through. I did not have a venue, so I went to a local hotel that had a party room, and I went in, introduced myself, told him what I wanted to do, and that I would share the professional photos with him because I also hired a professional photographer. So he agreed to it. And so I had the whole room all day. And I stayed at the hotel and did all of my inflation. And I was able to do 2 designs because I was able to flip the room. And it just turned out absolutely beautiful. And that is still one of my favorites.
Nice. And I bet that planner was thrilled to have beautiful pictures of the room fully decorated to sell to his customers.
So he was the hotel owner. And
even better.
Yes. So, yes, he was excited about that. And so that still stands as one of my favorites. And I actually love the designs. Actually, I have a picture of that design. It turned into I did it in 2 different colors. I call it Fit for Royalty. Here it is for the
A
girl.
little bit this way, a little bit over. Nope.
That way.
And down a little bit and a little bit over the other way. There you go. There we Oh, wow. Oh, that is gorgeous.
That was for the girl.
Nice.
And then I just, changed a couple of the elements to make it for the boy. So I did a dance floor canopy and everything. So let's see.
There we go. Yep. A little bit over. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's still one of my favorites. Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
And so it was on Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday weekend because my kids were home. So I still remember that. Yeah, that's still one of my all-time favorites. So it was for myself.
Nice. And that's a great tip for everybody who's watching. If you're trying to get your own pictures and things like that, go to some of the smaller venues and smaller hotels. The real big chains, they might not need the business as much, or they might not need that extra edge. But if you go to some of the smaller ones and say, I'd like to do a style shoot, I have a photographer coming, a lot of times they'll be happy to work with you. And then they're going to be showing your pictures to everybody. Exactly. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. So, okay, so that was one of your most interesting experiences, but now let's get a little bit into the nitty-gritty. Can you tell me about your biggest disaster job? Like the one that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, I just, we've all had those jobs that it's like you go to bed and you're like, God, I hope it's better tomorrow.
When you just said that, I was like, I haven't had a disaster. And then I was like, oh, I forgot about that one time.
We all have that one.
But it was a very small job. So the client had hired me to do an organic garland for her wall. It was her son's first birthday party, and it was a football theme. And it was the very first time that I adhered an organic garland to a wall. Because typically, you attach it to a frame or you do it on a freestanding frame. So I was like, okay, no problem. I can do that. So I went with my command hooks, thought I knew what I was doing. And I was by myself, no secondhand. And I was sweating bullets. I didn't have the right size command hooks. That was number one. They were too small. They should have been bigger. So then I started stressing because I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking too long. I look so unprofessional. Oh my God, her guests are going to be coming. I'm still sitting here trying to put this organic garland on the wall. And I figured it out. But in the interim, with my stress and I rushed, I cut myself with a pair of scissors.
Oh boy.
And she had white tablecloths. And all I could think is, if I get blood on these white tablecloths, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And I cut myself pretty bad that the blood was dripping. That I had to hold my hand under. And then I had to say, I'm so sorry, but I've cut myself. I'm going to use your powder room.
Oh my gosh.
Disaster. Then she asked me, did I need a Band-Aid? I did not have a first aid kit. So that was a tip. Karen have a first aid kit. So she gave me a Band-Aid and I couldn't stop the bleeding. It was bleeding bad. So I had to put a heavy pressure with that Band-Aid. Woo! That was a disaster.
Oh my gosh. And so how did it turn out in the end?
Oh, it was really pretty. Yes. I don't even know if I have a picture of that, but it turned out really cute. She loved it, but nice. I was stressed. And so, yeah, that was a disaster for me. It turned out for her, but it was a disaster.
Yeah, there were a few jobs that toilet paper and duct tape became my Band-Aid.
Wow, duct tape and toilet paper. Here it is. I got a picture, and I told you it was a small job.
A little bit over. There we go. Yep. Wow. A little bit of, nope, you're going back the wrong way again. The other way. Nope. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow. Oh, that's fun with the footballs. I like that.
Yeah, but it was a small job, but yeah, it was a disaster. And so it didn't really hang the way I had intended it, but it was going to stay just as it was. Oh wow, yeah, I forgot all about that. Probably because I choose to forget about it. That was stressful. Yeah, I cut
Yeah,
myself.
I can imagine, but you made it through, dripping blood and all.
I did.
I think I have a video that I made a YouTube space where that happened to me. I sliced my hand on the frame when I was making the video, and then I was like, okay, we have to cut now.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So what about a job where, like, I know I'm going off script. These aren't the questions I gave you, but a job where, we all have that one where it's like, even you're like, wow, I'm proud of myself. That came out even better than I imagined. That came out even better than I sold it. Do you have one of those?
Um, hmm. So I have a job that I thought, wow, that turned out better than.
Yeah, that you're like
Okay,
patting
I
yourself
can
on the
say,
back, like, I did that.
well, I would say a recent organic garland for an 18th birthday party. It didn't turn out anything like I had envisioned it at all, but it really was pretty. Matter of fact, do I have a picture of that? And I was like, wow. And I looked at the pictures later, and then though I got a little nervous because I was like, oh no, is the client gonna like it? Because this kind of not like what I had thought I was going to provide her with, and it didn't look anything like the inspiration photo she sent me, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. And I don't even know if I have a picture of it, but it was really pretty, and she loved it. And
Nice.
so then I made a joke and said, "It's better than the picture you sent me, right?"
Right. I've had that. I had that happen several times where, there was something like, I remember there was one job that we showed up and somehow the rounds weren't packed in the box. I don't know how it happened, but I didn't have enough balloons, right? And I mean, thank goodness I had 260. So instead of doing a standard column or Roman column or whatever it was, I did the column with the 260s going up it, right? And so of course I told them, like, well, I was feeling generous today, so I gave you guys a huge upgrade.
Thinking
It's always an upgrade.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Well, it worked out, and they loved it, right?
They did. They did. I think anytime that you frame it that way, like, "Hey, I'm giving you a free upgrade," people are always willing to accept that. Usually, I mean, unless, every once in a while you get those bridezillas or those clientzillas that just they're not going to be happy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, thank God in my career I didn't have too many of those, but it
Yes,
happens.
yes, yes. It happens.
So tell me a little bit about your mentors. Who what, as you came into the industry, who were you learning from and following, and who's influenced you?
Wow. Well, I would say firstly, Lynn Donnelly is the one that I had reached out to originally. But then, quite honestly, I would say lots of people in the industry serve as mentors to me because I have no problem approaching people when I have a question. Number one, it's people that know me though. They know that I've invested, in my training. And I'm always showing up. So it's not like I'm just reaching out to strange people, but have I ever reached out to a strange person? No, everyone I've reached out to thus far knows me. So I can give you names. I could say Tanina Buchanan. She is someone that is so resourceful. Oh my gosh, I just reach out to her and she is a wealth of information. Khadijah H. She was very, very helpful when I decided to invest in a I forgot the name of the Conwin machine that can do timed helium. So she helped me a lot in learning how to adjust it and how to size it. I reached out to her. I reached out to Carolyn Truby. I reached out to Adrian Winfrey, Tommy DeLorenzo. I reached out to Joette. I can't even say her last name before. When I saw she did something in a pool, I was like, oh, how did she do that? I reached out and she was generous to share with me a tip on how to create that. I've reached out to oh gosh, Dave Mahoney. I mean, I reach out to everyone. It's community. It's about a community. So I've reached out to you before. I just reach out. It's a community and I utilize that.
Nice.
And I've paid for coaching before, but that's different than mentors. But my coaching was for more so for my venue and not my balloons. So a lot of people have served as mentors, and still I've reached out to Caitlin. What's Caitlin's last name? Leonard, I think. Oh, I can't remember her last name, about pricing, but she's not just balloons. She does balloons and events. I reach out to my community. So many
Nice.
people serve as mentors for me.
And you've been doing a lot of the education and the conferences and stuff as well. So you've really been getting influence from everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. I've gone to float. I've actually had I forgot Linda Kiss. I took her course a year before my sister passed, 2016. It was a 4-day workshop in Florida, and I learned a lot in that class. So I have invested. I've gone to Balloon University twice. I've gone to float. I go to different little things that like our local balloon distributor has classes sometimes, like Qualitex will have someone come in, like Dante would come in to do a class, and I've invested in my education and also network and have built a great community for myself.
Nice. So speaking of courses, you've got some trainings coming up, don't you?
Yeah, so I do a course 4 times a year. I missed one this year because of the sudden passing of my mother, so I had to skip one. But I train, I have a beginner's course. So it teaches you all the fundamentals. I believe in the fundamentals because once you have those, I feel that you can soar. You can be inspired by others, but you can also create. Because before I started to instruct people with balloon decor, I have been an instructor for years for face painting. So at the Face and Body Art International Convention, I served as an instructor at their convention as well as online, because they have an online platform that I have some classes. So I've been instructing for a very long time. And I used to also teach at some adult ed classes. And my husband is a longtime educator. So I'm also influenced by him, and I would go to him because, teaching adults is different than teaching children. So he teaches young adults, meaning high school. You say, it is a little bit different. It really is. It is a little bit different. So I've been teaching for a very long time with regard to art overall. And so balloons to me is an art. And so our boot camp is the first 2-day workshop, because we were doing 1 day. And so with the 2 days, it allows us to give a little bit more to our students. And so it's going to be on Veterans Day weekend, a 2-day workshop in York, Pennsylvania at our party venue, the Party Palooza. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that is exciting. And so this workshop, it's really fundamentals. You're starting from the beginning, or I mean, who's it really for?
So it is for people that have never touched a balloon. It's also for people that have already started balloons, but they never really got the fundamentals. It's for those people that have, got their training from YouTube University, but they really want some hands-on. So anyone that's looking to start from the beginning or elevate from where they currently are. And so we're going to be teaching, things like color theory. Like people are like, what color theory? Yes, that is very important. How to size your balloons, how to consider, your rhythm and your flow of your designs. We're going to talk about framework. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to be talking a little bit about social media, so some marketing. And then it's an opportunity for you to build your portfolio, because we are in a venue. It'll be decorated, so you have an opportunity to actually take in pictures. So once you leave, you start selling immediately, and then you get lifetime support. So I have a private group that will be for those people that have taken the training, and then you will have me on speed dial in your phone, as well as my husband. He is the framing expert, not me. So you call him, and he's more than gracious to help you. So I feel there's a lot of value for what we're giving.
Yeah, speaking of framing, I saw that you just put up a video on number framing.
Yes,
that's really cool. I know people are asking for help with framing all the time. I think probably the two hardest parts of what we do are framing and pricing.
Absolutely. I agree. I got the pricing part. He has the framing part. We make
Nice.
a great team.
That's awesome. And hey, guys watching, if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box here, and I'll read them out to Karen, and she can answer your questions. That's the fun part of doing a live. Okay, so just some quick, silly questions. What's your favorite balloon color?
I don't have a favorite balloon color. You know
No?
what my favorite color is? Bling, baby, bling.
Yeah.
I do not have a favorite color. I'm serious. Bling though. Anything shiny and it's sparkling. Oh, like I like the agate balloons.
Yeah.
Interesting. Especially the agate mylar balloon. Oh, with the glitter through it. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, bling is my favorite color.
Nice. Anything that sparkles. I'm right there with you with that.
Yes.
What about your favorite kind of balloon? I don't mean brand. I mean, like, do you love the 260s? Do you love the Linkies? I mean, is there a balloon that you just really love working with?
I'm gonna say this, but I don't use them a lot. I like the starburst balloon.
Oh,
I think they're pretty interesting, but I don't use them as much as I should. I'm gonna start using them more. I find them quite interesting. And it's funny, I was doing a baby shower at a country club, and my client's sister, see, that's why I don't like doing setups when there's 50,000 people in the room, because then everybody's trying to tell you what to do. And like, you are not my contact person, but this is not what my client and I had discussed and agreed. But I was all prepared to put the starburst in. And then her sister, I heard it. They don't know I heard it, whispered to her. And then my client called me and said, Karen, she was like, don't put those stars on. Oh, I was devastated. It was so boring to me, but it's not for me. They loved it. They liked it. I love it. It's done. But I really love that balloon, but I didn't get to use it for that installation.
Yeah, that those starburst balloons, they can really, with such a simple, just one or two, add so much glitz.
It does. That's what I thought. I thought it would make it so interesting, but some people, less is more. And so you have to keep that in mind, because they are the ones that have paid for this. This is their vision, and you're bringing their vision to life. So sometimes you have to put aside, don't compromise your work, because it's your brand and your name is on it. But hey, you don't want the stars? No problem. But I was like punched, like, oh, it hurt a little bit.
Yeah. That was a hard early lesson for me as well, that, especially in the beginning, I was really about being the artist. And I would almost get offended when people would ask me for simple things. And it took me a while to really, come around to, it's their event. Like, what I want to make, because it's the most fun for me, is not necessarily what's going to serve them the best.
Nope.
Or what they really need, right?
Nope.
So yeah, so it took a while before, it got into my head that it's not about my art, it's about what the event needs, it's about what the client needs. Yes. But you're right, the client and not the brother-in-law and not the cousin twice removed.
Gosh, yes, but it is what it is. So I just didn't put those up, and I was like, wow, I wish I had known. I wouldn't have inflated all these, but whatever, it is what it is. It still turned out pretty. But didn't knock my socks off, but it knocked their socks off, and they were very gracious. They loved it. And so the job was done. But I love that balloon, the starburst, but I don't use it a lot. So when you look at my designs, you'll say, oh, she says she likes starburst, but you don't see them a lot. I don't.
Well, I didn't ask you which one was the one you use most. I'm going to guess that the one you use most is just a, regular 11-inch round, like we all do, right?
Yeah.
The building block.
Yes.
So Michelle wants to know how soon she can get more details on the training course. Michelle, right now.
Exactly.
That URL that you see on the banner up there, that's where you can get more information and learn everything there is to know. And if people want to get in touch with you, Karen, and ask you more questions, I'll ask you again in a few minutes. But just so that she has the information at her fingertips, how can they find you?
So you can go to the website, theballoonboutique.com. If you want to just take a look around, see some of my work. Also, you can find me on Facebook at theballoonboutique.com, or you can actually give me a call. I am approachable, and my business number, not my cell number, is 717-751-1720. I am more than happy to answer any questions. You can send me a message through Facebook if you like, or like I said, you can give me a call. And on the website, it will show the address, it will show you the price, and it will also show you the nearby hotels if you're going to be traveling. And our venue is right inside of our local mall. And conveniently, there is a hotel right on the mall parking lot. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, so I put 3 different hotel options. One's like 0.2 miles away, and the other 2 are half a mile away. So
What's the
there you
date
go.
again?
Say that one more time.
What is the date of it again?
What is the date? Girl, is that the 12th and the 13th?
I know Veterans Day, but
yeah, I think it's the 12th and the 13th. I just want to make, the 12th and the 13th from 11 to 5.
Fun.
Yes, and lunch is included, and you will get notes, and you'll get a portfolio. You'll build your portfolio. You'll leave with designs, recipes, and all supplies are provided. And you'll actually be making framework, like hands-on. We're not just talking about it, you're going to actually do it, which is really important. And then you're going to be actually creating designs in the class. And in addition to the classic, arch and the classic columns, we're going to also talk about the all trending organic garlands. We're going to be doing those as well.
Yeah, and I want to point out to everybody, even if you think that this is stuff you already know how to make, sometimes it's just that one little time-saving trick or tip that you never thought about. I mean, it seems so silly to say that when I watched the video that you made on the magic arch column that you made for my channel, and you drilled the hole, and to me that was like such a oh my god moment. I mean, it never occurred to me to drill a hole and make my life easy to just thread it through. It was, so sometimes it's just that simple thing that that for whatever reason, you get into your rut of doing things the same way every time. And it's that one little tip that can change everything. And, it can be a revelation.
And he loves framing. Oh my gosh. And so he's good with his hands. So he teaches he doesn't teach anymore. He's assistant principal now, but at the same school, he taught mechanical drawing.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And all about architecture and mechanics and all of that jazz. And he builds decks in the summer. He built ponds. He just loves to build. And so he gets carried away with the framing. So I just come to him with a picture. I'm like, okay, I need this anchor. Can you make this anchor? And nice. He was like, okay. And then he gets down in his workshop and he creates the framework. And then I take care of the rest, the balloon part. But yes, he loves actual framing. And so it was his idea about the drilling the hole. I would have never thought of that. And he was like, and I'm like, yo, he's doing too much. But hey, it works. He overdoes everything, in my opinion, but it works. It's sound and it's reliable. And I go to him because I know he will figure it out.
Very cool. So I don't want to keep this going too long. I wanted this just to be a quick little introduction so people could get to know you. So real quick, I'll put out one more call for questions. If anybody's got any questions for Karen, it's an ask me anything, any questions you got. And while we're giving people a second to think if they have a question or not, I want you to think about what is your very best tip for newbies who are just starting out. What is the most important thing for them to know or do, or piece of advice that maybe you wish somebody had told you?
Wow.
I know that wasn't on the sheet either.
That's okay. Just one or several, because there's several things.
Well, hey, the floor is yours. Share with us what you want.
First of all, there is no such thing as perfection. Doesn't exist. Okay. So I want you to strive for excellence, but give yourself grace because you're learning, right? And because you might think it's not good enough, someone else will love it. So you're going to strive for excellence, but do not strive for perfection. It's a process. You're growing. It's about growth. And at the same time, however, be like a sponge and soak up as much information as you can. Invest the time and the money in your education. That's very important. And finally, you can do all this and you're hiding in the house. No one knows you exist. Okay. So you need to get out there and you need to become visible. And when I say that, I don't mean that means, oh, someone calls you and says, hey, we're having this fundraiser and we would like you to donate the balloons. That's not what I mean when I say be visible. Meaning share your work everywhere on social media. It's free. That's Facebook, that could be YouTube, that could be TikTok, that could be Instagram. Guess what? You can have a free Google profile, share your work there. People will go on Google and they're looking for local balloon decorators. You should be on Google. Utilize those free resources. If you don't have a business card, guess what? You can create a digital business card. You don't have to have don't make excuses. Go on Canva. It's free. Create a digital business card. So when someone asks you, do you have one? And you're just starting and you haven't decided yet what your colors are, what your branding colors are, what your name's going to be. You don't have a website, all that jazz. Okay, whatever. Create a digital business card. They just need to know how to contact you. And that could be simple phone number as well as an email address. Okay. So don't make it so complicated. Get out of your own way and start today. And those would be my tips.
Those are great tips. I wholeheartedly agree with every one of them. And great reminders also. I mean, even for me as I'm getting into new things, I need to do more with rocking my social media.
Yeah, social media is where it's at. I mean, in our class, I want to talk to them a lot about that. Nice. And this stuff is free. Like, use it. Actually, you can be paid to promote your business. I mean, I have a lot to share. So I look forward to those that will be coming to our November course. And if you don't make the November course, we will be having another boot camp, either January or February. I'm not sure which date. And then at some point, we're going to have a virtual business boot camp. And that doesn't have anything to do with, the hands-on learning the balloon designs. It's going to be all about business. But I don't know when that's going to be coming, but it will be coming at some point.
Very, very exciting. Well, Karen, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today, letting us get to know you a little bit. And I'm so excited about where you're going to take the Facebook groups and the education that you're providing for people and helping bring them into the balloon world.
I'm excited as well. And thank you so much for entrusting me with your baby. And I hope you know that they are in good hands.
Oh, I do. So before we sign off, is there anything else that you want to share or something that I didn't ask about that you were hoping I would?
I love to laugh. So, hey, I love fun people. So all the fun people, all the party people, I'm your party girl.
Woohoo!
Yes, yes.
In the house.
Yes. So I'm all about fun. So I try to make education as fun as possible.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. And to everybody, thank you guys for joining us. And, we'll be around in the group. So don't be strangers. Let's keep this party going.
Yes. Thank you, Sandi, so much. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.